It seems like China and the United States are trying to see who can charge the most money to its own citizens. Just last week, I did an English lesson about tariffs. Yesterday, I asked you, what do you want the next English lesson to be? And you said, keep talking about these tariffs. They are now up to 145%. I am not a math guy. I am an English guy, but even I know that is a lot of money. In today's English lesson, we will watch a news clip about those tariffs and talk about these terms. Surcharge, standoff. You will learn English phrasal verbs like backing down, hitting back, and firing back. You will learn two ways we use the word steep, another English phrasal verb heating up, two ways we use the word staggering. You will learn what the word optimistic means. So many English phrasal verbs in this English lesson, piling on, and so many more. About 23 terms in total. If that sounds useful to you, go ahead and hit that like button. If this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss another English lesson. And let's watch the news clip together.
China retaliating, adding 125% tariffs to U.S. goods. The surcharge going into effect overnight, and ABC's Selena Wang is here in Washington at the White House now with this major development. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, good morning, Gio. The U.S.-China trade war is only getting worse. It's become a standoff between two global superpowers, and neither side is backing down.
For each of the terms, I will have a picture, I will have the official definition, and I will use it in a sentence. A surcharge is extra money added to a price. Taxes, tariffs are two types of surcharges. The US may add a surcharge to Chinese goods, making them more expensive. What's a standoff? It's a situation where two sides don't agree and don't move. There have been standoffs between the US and China over trade for years. A lot of times you will hear standoff when it comes to the police. Let's say there is a criminal hiding in a building. The police might be nervous to go in that building, so they keep telling that person, you need to come out. But that person doesn't come out. This could take a long time, and it's called a standoff. Global superpowers. Global is just an adjective describing the world or Earth. I have a picture of the Soviet Union because when I was growing up, the Soviet Union was a superpower. Now today, it might be China and the United States. The official definition: countries with a lot of power in the world, like the US and China. When global superpowers fight, it can hurt the whole world economy. When you hear economy, think money.
China retaliating, adding 125% tariffs to U.S. goods. The surcharge going into effect overnight, and ABC's Selena Wang is here in Washington at the White House now with this major development. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, good morning, Gio. The U.S.-China trade war is only getting worse. It's become a standoff between two global superpowers, and neither side is backing down.
Phrasal verb here, backing down. That means to stop fighting or arguing. China does not seem to be backing down in the trade talks. Yeah, it seems like every time the US and China decide to talk about trade, the tariffs keep going up.
In fact, China is hitting back with 125% tariffs on American goods. Those steep tariffs go into effect today.
They use both of these phrasal verbs in the newscast, and they both mean basically the same thing: hitting back and firing back. It means to respond strongly to an attack or criticism. Criticism is when you say bad things about a person or a country. The US is hitting back by raising tariffs on Chinese products. In the newscast, they use steep like this: very high or sharp. The steep increase in tariffs could hurt businesses. But take a look at that picture. It looks like people are climbing a steep mountain. Those backpackers are climbing a steep mountain. But steep can also be a verb, and it means to let something soak in hot water. You often steep tea before you drink it. Here is a sentence. While watching the news, she steeped the tea bag in her tea and listened closely.
This morning, the U.S.-China trade war heating up. Starting today, American goods entering China face a staggering 125% import tax. Beijing firing back after the U.S. imposed a massive 145% tariff on all goods from China.
Heating up. This has little to do with temperature. It doesn't have much to do with hot. It's more like people getting angry. Here is the official definition: getting more intense or serious. The trade war between China and the US is heating up. Two different ways we use the word staggering in the newscast. They use staggering like this: very surprising or shocking. The US may raise tariffs to a staggering 145%. Luckily, this morning I saw on the news that iPhones will probably not be included in that super high tariff. But if somebody is really tired or they've had too much alcohol, they might be staggering. We also use it as a verb. It means walking unsteadily, like you're going to fall. The person in the picture looks like they are staggering. After hearing the bad news, the man was staggering down the street in shock. Yeah, when people start walking into stores and see how much the prices are going up, they might be staggering.
President Trump optimistic he could reach a deal with China's leader Xi Jinping.
I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time. And I think that we'll end up working out something that's very good for both countries.
But Xi Jinping defiant, warning that America will only isolate itself.
Optimistic. It is an adjective and it means feeling hopeful that things will be good, like in the future. Some leaders are still optimistic that the countries can make a deal. The opposite of optimistic is pessimistic. That means you think bad things will happen in the future. End up working out. We use working out a couple different ways, but in the newscast, they used it like this: to finish in a good way. Even with problems now, the trade deal might end up working out. Little kids are often called defiant. That means refusing to listen or change. China stayed defiant, saying it would protect its economy. The US is also being defiant. They are not backing down. What if someone is isolated? It means to keep something or someone separate. A lot of times when people are sick, they will isolate themselves so they don't get anyone else sick. High tariffs may isolate China from global trade.
China's finance ministry saying the U.S. would go down as a joke in the history of world economics if Trump keeps piling on the tariffs. The U.S. imported nearly $440 billion worth of goods from China last year, everything from clothes to electronics. Take the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which currently costs $1,199. UBS estimates that could soon increase by $950.
In the picture, it looks like that man's work is starting to pile on. Pile on means adding more and more pressure or criticism. The US is piling on new tariffs to push China to make changes. For the next couple months, I will be offering private tutoring sessions. If you would like to have a private conversation with me to improve your English, take a look at the description or take a look at the comments. There you will see a link and some more information on how to become one of my students. Goods. You might know good as in like great. I hope I am a good teacher for you. That is an adjective, but we can also use good as a noun. Goods are products or items that people buy or sell. Tariffs are added to goods like phones, clothes, and cars. Estimates. This is a noun and it means a guess based on information. Estimates say the tariffs could raise prices by 20% or more. We also use estimate as a verb, like I estimate this English lesson will last about 20 minutes.
UBS estimates that could soon increase by $950. Consumers already feeling the squeeze, and businesses are too. Amy Rutherford owns this toy store in Alexandria, Virginia. She says virtually everything she sells is made in China or with parts from China.
What's the maximum price increase that this panda could go up to?
I mean, if it goes up to 145%,
It's an $80 panda. $80 panda at the maximum.
yeah.
How do you see all of this affecting your business and sales?
Well, if it's an $80 panda from 32, then that makes a big difference. People aren't going to want to pay that.
Increase. It simply means to go up. The cost of goods may increase if tariffs rise. Yeah, if these tariffs keep going up, we might all feel the squeeze. That means having financial or money problems or pressure. Small businesses are feeling the squeeze from higher prices. We use virtually in a couple different ways, but in the newscast, they used it like this: almost or nearly. Virtually all Chinese products might be taxed under the new plan. Take a look at that movie theater. Virtually all of the seats were taken in the movie theater. You could use it if you have an important English test coming up. I was able to answer virtually all of the questions on the test. My favorite word of this English lesson is panda. Yeah, we call that animal in English a panda. And China is one of the few countries where you will find pandas. Let's get the official definition. A black and white bear from China, often used as a symbol of China. A few years back, my family went to Washington, D.C. and visited the zoo there. They have a couple pandas. Shout out to one of my students who has taken a private English lesson with me, Tessa. She is from Germany, and as I record this lesson, she is visiting Washington, D.C. This is just an example sentence. Some headlines joked, "Don't make the panda angry," when China responded to tariffs. Maximum. This might be a review word. It means the highest possible amount. The US may raise tariffs to the maximum level of 145% on some Chinese goods. How about this? She studies English a maximum of 2 hours a day. That is all the time she has. She cannot study for 3 hours. I'm curious. Please let me know in the comments section, how many hours of English do you study per day? Do you study every day? Do you skip some days? Congratulations, you made it to the end of another English lesson. Don't forget to check the description in the comments if you would like to become one of my students. I mean, you're my student right now, but if you would like to have a one-on-one conversation, check out those links. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.